Alright. We're going to have an episode on medical malpractice, and we're going to talk about a few things about medicine. If the audio sounds different, I'm trying something new, a different way. It's kind of just what I have to do at this time. So hopefully you don't mind. I know there may be noises in the background, but I'm literally just sitting on my balcony. It's the only way I can kind of do things. Everything else inside is just noisier, and I want to see if I can do it this way. Alternative medicine. Now, there's a lot of stuff here in regards to alternative medicine. Okay, they say a lot of it is testimonials, anecdotes, religion, superstition, pseudoscience, okay, errors in reasoning, propaganda, fraud, New Age quackery. They always give this term, or these terms, in regards to medicine and things involved with it. But there's a lot here, okay? Now, this form of medicine has been around way longer than any other form of medicine. Okay, what they consider alternative medicine or traditional medicine has been around longer than modern medicine. It's literally just called traditional, so it's just been around longer. But they constantly shoot it down. They constantly tell all this stuff, or all these people, that it's wrong, it's garbage, it's fake, it's gay. And I'm going to say that a lot of this stuff is on point. A lot of this stuff is, there's something to it. It's essentially, you have traditional, okay, and alternative medicine, and you have modern medicine. And they're explaining the same things, they're just using different terms. And because these people can't stop nitpicking and seeing outside of terms and whatnot, they constantly shoot each other down, even though if they just open their minds, which, they're so smart, they apparently can't do, you would begin to notice that they're talking about the same thing, just in different ways. There's so much here, it's almost insane. But understand and dig through this in your own time, the concepts of modern medicine. You have this rapist-ass dude, okay? What is alternative medicine? Or what do you call alternative medicine that survives a double-blind laboratory test? Regular medicine. So regular medicine was medicine previously that didn't pass a test. So it was there, but it just didn't get passed according to whoever is passing it. And but it's the same thing. It's just, you have traditional medicine. Now I live in Vietnam, and so there's lots of herbs, and there's entire streets that sell herbs and weird jars and roots and leaves and all these things. And I don't know 0.02% of it, but I'm still learning it, and it's so fascinating. And I think there's something here that the Western world compared to the Eastern world does not want to see, or they're just so smart they don't fucking want to hear it. But there's something here in regards to how we view medicine. Now, one of the things this ties into is the concept or idea of holism. Holism is the concept or thought or process of looking at the whole thing rather than the thing's individual parts. I'm going to look at the whole car and try and figure out what's wrong with the whole car. I'm not going to just look at the individual parts, because there may be something within the car itself that is causing the individual parts to go bad or go wrong. And I'm saying and I'm thinking that as the more I think about this, if you look at bodies and try to look at bodies in a holistic sense, which they tell you is quackery or nonsense, you will begin to see that everything is a part of the one. I shouldn't necessarily break down things, section things, categorize things into pieces and parts, because everything is a part of the whole. And I need to know how the whole works together rather than individual parts and what they do, or trying to cover individual parts in regards to protecting the whole. I think this thought process will open up medicine exponentially, and the opposite of holism would be reductionism. Now, I've mentioned reductionism in the terms of mathematics. I've mentioned reductionism in the terms of mathematics. I think our mathematics is divisive or is reducing value, not increasing value. And go figure, mathematics is what we use to build all of these systems or thoughts or ideas or things. But reductionism is breaking everything into parts and looking at the individual parts. If the throat is broken, let me try and fix the throat only. But maybe the stomach caused the throat to be broken, okay? And this would be holism. And I really believe in this more and more as I go throughout my life and whatnot. I think our entire concepts or thoughts, theories, ideas, and whatnot on medicine are complete nonsense. And even just the word holistic, okay, comes from holism, okay, attested to by 1960 holistically, or holistic, which, cross with holism. Basically the whole thing rather than this individual sections or parts, which would be reductionism. Medicine, okay, and medicine gets into this a lot, and you have the snake around the staff, snake around the branch, which is symbolic within itself. But science really or medicine in general in this episode kind of really digs into this stuff, and I'm thinking that we're not seeing things because of the way we're thinking of things. Now, disease is literally that. It's dis-ease, okay? Dis-ease. Basically, being uneasy or discomfort, okay? Discomfort, inconvenience, distress, trouble, okay? Lack, want, distress, trouble, misfortune, sickness, okay? So dis-ease or disease is dis-ease, and dis-ease is being uncomfortable, stressed, determined, having trouble, all these kinds of things. And when you begin to understand this, you begin to look and you dig into disease, and dis-ease is disease. And I think dis-ease or disease comes from being uneasy or things within your life. It's more of the environment. It's not things in the air. It's not things in the food, blah, blah, blah. Now, one of the biggest things, especially where I'm from, is cardiovascular disease, heart disease, heart dis-ease. So the heart is diseased. There's things about the heart that there's problems, guys. You've been lying your whole life. This will cause dis-ease of the heart. You've been sleeping around and lying to a bunch of women, and that will cause disease of the heart. You tried to get ahead in life and make a bunch of deals that you knew were going to go bad, and you feel bad about it. That's dis-ease in the heart. That's heart disease. That's heart disease. And I think us and our minds and our hearts and how everything works is all one. Now we have the term cardiovascular. It's a mixture of cardio and vascular, pertaining to both the heart and the blood vessels, which is interesting stuff. Cardio itself, okay, means word-forming elements meaning pertaining to the heart, okay, or the heart. This is interesting. This is where we get the words accord, cardiac, cordial, heart, myocarditis, or myocardium. Things like this. Creed, credulous, credit, tying to the heart. What I'm saying is, if you're trapped in credit debt, this is going to weigh on your heart. So you're going to end up having heart disease later, because the word heart is literally, or cardiovascular system is literally tied to credit. So it's like they're doing this on purpose. Vascular, pertaining or conveyance of circulatory or circulation of fluids, of or pertaining to vessels or tubes, a small vessel, okay, a vessel. The heart is the vessel that pumps the blood. And I think it's interesting in the Bible says that the life is in the blood, and your heart pumps blood. So I think it's the thing that's keeping the life going. He's giving you life, and by keeping your heart pumping. The life is in the blood, but something behind the blood, the pump, has its own, master, and I would say that's him, keeping the heart pumping, okay? Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. Keep your heart with all vigilance, for from it flows springs of life, because the life is in the blood. It also says in the Bible, the life is in the blood, and from your heart springs the life, okay? And I will give you a new heart, a new spirit, and I will put within you. And I will remove the heart of stone from your flesh, and give you a heart of, or from your flesh, and give you a heart of flesh. And it's interesting that it mentioned the word stone, because cardiovascular disease, if you go and you look in that article, cardiovascular diseases are attributed to calcification, basically turning into calcium or a rock or a stone. Okay, it's so interesting, guys. There's something here. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately sick. Who can understand it? Okay. The Lord is near to the broken-hearted and saves their crushed in spirit. As in water, face reflects face, so the heart of man reflects the man. There's so much here. There's so much wisdom, and it is just mind-blowing how far you can go if you just look at these old words and you choose to try to understand. Okay, it mentions anything your heart wants, your heart can get. So if you have a heart that only wants money, you can get only money. It's so fascinating, because the heart pumps the blood, and the life is in the blood. So if you only want money, your heart is essentially fueling that into your life, because your heart is pumping that into your blood, or pumping the blood, which the life is the blood. The regression towards the mean. Now this is an interesting concept, the regression towards the mean. Basically what this is ashes to ashes, dust to dust, but it's a scientific term without quoting the Bible, and that's all they want to do. They want to give you the same concept, but they want to spin it around, make it more complex and confusing, without saying that God is real. Regression toward the mean, okay? Going back to where you came from, and the Bible in Genesis chapter, I want to say 3:19, says that, you will return to dust. People say ashes to ashes, dust to dust, but that's not the actual quote, and I don't have it here. I thought I had it here. Oh, Genesis, no, that's not it. But basically, from the dust you came, you shall return, which in scientific terms would be regressing to the mean. It's so fascinating the more you begin to dig into this. And there's something with disease being dis-ease. It's more so of a curse, not something from outside, not something. Our entire concept of medicine is wrong, guys. It's so fascinating and hard to explain, but yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? All right.